Hello, Dion from Inflation here. I really don't have any topic I want to talk about in this video. I just thought I'd press record and see what happens. So I kind of get the feeling I've got something to say, but I'm not sure what. So there's probably going to be a lot of editing until I figure out what I want to say. Am I at a loss for words for once? Let's see if I can do it. Okay. Poets rock. Jumped up onto this. Now, in Poets Rock, I kind of feel like saying something poetic or something metaphorical. I do get somewhat of a power trip. I'm up on my soapbox. Dear trees, hear me now. Now that I brought that to my attention, I kind of feel bad about standing up here. I'm going to this rock. There we go, that feels more natural. That's what I was saying. Oh, sorry, it's just me with power. I don't like it. Yeah, that's probably what I was talking about. So yeah, I guess with any sort of system, any sort of, I guess with power control, what we exert onto other people, if there is a problem within a system, any sort of system, you can't change a system within a system, but you also can't change a system without the system's influence. So if you try and bring in another system, it's going to be influenced by the system that you're trying to change. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's like, even though we demonize something, it takes that, I guess that foundation of what we hate to actually know the opposite. And even language, for example, I could sort of say, well, England has done so much damage to the world, sort of thing. It's it's invaded countries, it's invaded this country and all that sort of stuff. But for me to actually explain that, it takes the English language. Otherwise I'll be going blah, 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 and you'll be going madman. So for any sort of system sort of thing where there's badness within the system, or just not even badness, just on a functional wise, where it just doesn't function properly and people get hurt in that functioning, a system won't change itself by itself. A con man will not question being a con man, because it's in the action of being a con man. And sometimes, if it is in a leader sense of the thing, it takes someone that's not a leader, or a group of people, a community of people, to say, hey, this is not right. This is not what we actually set out to be as a system, as a society, a societal system. So, I'm not, it sounds like I'm advocating revolution and all that, but I'm merely saying because even a revolution means to revolve, means to come back to. So once again, it's eventually, with a pattern, you're just going to revolve back to what you had before, and that's where society, with history, repeats. There's probably been many revolutions where we're back to where we are, just in a different sort of setting. So to actually, and that goes to the point of a revolution. For a revolution to happen, it takes the system to act outside of the system, a new system to evolve, and then revolve back to what it was. So it's taking the learnings of what was beneficial from a system that didn't work, letting go of what didn't actually work, and then somehow revolving back to where we are again, sort of thing. So it's kind of a catch-22, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I think maybe where the catch-22 can be uncaught is because on a survival sense, we do what benefits ourselves, and sometimes what benefits ourselves is not actually for the benefit of everyone, sort of thing. It's for the benefit of self. It's not for the benefit of the community, a societal thing. So it's almost a question of reflecting, back to accountability of, why am I doing this? Is this for the greater good or just for my good? There's some cases where it is good for your own good, but where it's purposely not good for the whole good. That's where we have issues. That's where we have sort of where we are today. It's kind of where your personal, that's where I'm going with this, where your personal accountability to resolve those issues within yourself actually helps the greater good. So once again, I've said this before, like peace on earth is actually, peace for humanity, because everything else has probably found its peace. Peace for humanity on earth is actually quite achievable. It's just, you got to find peace within first. If you find peace within first, then you're not acting out onto others. You're not acting out your hurt onto others, which comes back to, like, if trauma was actually recognized in the medical system, it's what it's about. It's going into those painful feelings, feeling those feelings so you can feel more peaceful. It doesn't mean that you're not ever going to feel hurt or anger or pain or anything like that. It just means that you can find your equilibrium a bit more. And wouldn't it be better if the world could find its equilibrium? But what we have is a hierarchical system that doesn't seem to be working. So if we could all govern ourselves by finding peace within ourselves, then it's less of a struggle. And to illustrate that point is, I'm currently in a forest where I don't see kangaroos beating the crap out of birds, and birds taking their anger out on other things. Sort of thing. It's like we're going to war with other things, and trees are yelling at the grass or anything like that. Nature has found its equilibrium. It's found its humanity. And who comes along and upsets that? Us great humans with our great intellect and our great wisdom and all that. Because we actually haven't found peace within. So that peace within, our so-called peace within, is acting out where we're creating struggles and creating shortages and creating restrictions and all these sorts of things onto our fellow person. So to actually break a cycle is to go inward rather than acting outward. And a little interesting thing is, when we exert power on others, we're exerting. It's an exertion. It's an effort. And I guess it's how long we can keep up that effort. It's like that saying, you can fool people some of the time, but not all of the time. And I guess it's how much energy you want to exert into everything. And I guess it's another thing is, if we achieve our aims, then we're still going to be left with ourselves, and we're not going to be happy with ourselves. And all those people that are exerting control actually end up imploding. They black hole, basically. So it achieves nothing in the end. It's a big waste of time and a big waste of energy. So to balance oneself is to find peace within. And if we find peace within, then we don't actually have to exert control or even exert our identity onto other people. So we're just content in our own selves. And if we have a whole society of people being content within themselves, then we have an equilibrium. We have contentment. We don't have destruction. So yeah, I'll probably stop here now. Well, there you go. I had nothing to start with. Ended up somewhat. I've gone from my soapbox to basically addressing the nature. My rock. Where's my applause trees? Anyway. They're leaving me alone at the moment. Sorry. End to with a pun. There we go. I'm Dion, Rocky Inflation.